Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tina and it is so great to be here crafting with you. I haven't gotten a lot of crafting in lately. I've done a lot of design and I've made a lot of cards for our card buffets, but I haven't gotten a lot of my joy is when I really get to make new things, try new things, learn, scrapbook, that type of stuff, because I am in the middle of a minor reorganization of my craft room and a full reorganization and redo of my office, which is attached to my craft room. And I will have videos coming up here on the page showing you how I organize things, how I prep and all of that coming up. But we're going to get on the other end of that. So that's probably to be expected next month. Okay, so for today's, I want you to focus on the technique, and down in the description, I'll have the free Design Space files for you and all of that as well. You'll just be able to grab those. Okay, so this is the card. And I will put this one in there as well as the blank one, just in case if everybody wants it. It's from Cricut and it features print and cut, but here it is here. And then here is that awesome inside. See that? And these are not new, but I have reworked the Design Space file, and I think that this is just such a great card. So I thought, why not do it? Now, my version today is Christmas as well, but I have a lot of fun ideas, so I do want to get into those. I didn't love the card when I was done it. I'm using these Santa's helpers, which I really do love. Santa's helpers. They are so cute, but I had put some of my pieces in the wrong places while I was making them, and so that kind of drove me a little nuts. But here is this, and obviously the North Pole is supposed to be here, and she is supposed to be here, and he's supposed to be here, but things happen, right? And I had this out and was working with it for a little while, and so I kept coming back. I was doing different coloring techniques and that type of stuff, and I ended up wanting to change things. So this card is still going to go. Someone is still going to get this for Christmas. And then someone's going to get the one that I change a little bit. And they're going to get the one that I change a little bit. And the one that I change a little bit. All right, let's dive in and get started. Okay, so one of the things in Design Space was this base. Every file that had this base in it, that when I went to look for them, one of the things that I noticed, because like I said, this is not a new project, is they were hooked together. So you would have to cut it like this, and you would need the longer Cricut mat. The other thing that I didn't like about that is I use regular cardstock to cut my card bases. I do not use my 12 by 12 papers. I use 8.5 by 11. That's what I prefer, like the weight of it. So I went ahead and created it so it's going to cut two different pieces. They're mirror images, and you'll have a hinge. So let's go ahead and talk about the hinge. The hinge in itself is just to attach these two together. It will score for you as well. And all you're going to do is fold the hinge and snip these pieces. I hope you guys like this card. If you're not in the Creating With You exclusively group, you should kind of check that out. In the private group, we have a creative art challenge, and this is actually one of the Design Space ideas. All right, I want to tell you, I got to give you a lot of manual measurements, and I'm not sure how I'm going to write those up, but I'll put something in the description that'll get you through, and then you'll have to add all your extra cuts. But this one here, okay, so it's going to be 8, 5.5. All right, and then you're going to want to score it right in the middle at 4, and you're going to make 2 of those. 2 of those. Okay, and then this cutout that's here for this is 2. I got to remember that because I don't want to get you wrong. Okay, I'm getting you close. It's 2 by 3.5. Okay, so if you cut the hole out of the center, 2 by 3.5, you'll do it twice. Try to find a thin cut, maybe a square thin cut that you're going to be able to get on there, and you're going to do that. That 2 by 3.5, you can do it from this one side leaving 1 inch. So you could do 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and then from the score line 1 inch as well. Okay. And that's with keeping it at 4. And I think it's worth it to have these straight measurements, because if not, what would happen is all your pieces are going to change on the 4. And so that frame and everything is going to end up being a little bit more, you know, number wise, a little bit of a pain in the butts. Okay, so now what we're going to do is this part here is going to be the inside of my card, and it doesn't really matter where you put the hinge. Let's get some liquid glue. Go. I've actually cut out some extra pieces at this point because I just know I'm going to be making more of these. We're going to put the hinge on and make sure that it's kind of all the way down. And then, but what we don't want to do is we don't want it to go over the score line on the hinge. Glue on the other side. You can wait for it to dry a minute or two. I do try to kind of keep moving just to cut down some time on the videos. All right, I'm going to lay this one right on top and make sure it's lined up nicely. I'm dealing with a flipped edge there on the corner. All right, over. Bone folder is going to be your friend. Rub, rub, rub. There we go. Give it a little something and let's move on. Okay, so this piece you're going to want, this piece you're going to want a couple of times. So this piece here is 3 3/4 by 5. 1, 2, the yellow ones are the same ones. 3 3/4 by 5. You will need 4 to do the back. Okay, flipped my piece there. The back. So 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 times 4. All right. And then this one here, and you can do these with all different papers. I decided to really commit to this beautiful paper. I'm going to call it Happy Christmas paper. I decided to really commit. So you'll notice my elves are colored in like aquas and pinks and lagoons. I made a change on this one. You'll see coming up. I just decided to really commit and go for it, and I'm pretty happy that I did. So these ones here are just 1/4 of an inch smaller, so you're going to be at 3.5 by 5. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play decrease my pieces on a few of these, and I am going to give you some more measurements as well. Let's go ahead and get rid of all the measurements that I just gave you so I don't give those to you again. I'm hoping I have all my pieces here. I think this one is the back, one white one, and that's the same as the last measurement that I just gave you. That 3, I think, what was it, 3 3/4 by 5? I don't know now. Now I'm like, I don't know. I forgot that quickly. Let's see. I don't want to mess this up. 3.5. 3.5, 5 1/4. That one there, we're going to need a few of, as you can see. And then the white one is for the back, and that's where you just write your sentiment and all. Let me grab a smaller one. Okay, the gun is so big. I do try to remind myself to put it out of the way. All right, I'm going to do this last one, then I'm going to go over the frames. I just wanted to get some stuff out of the way. We have a lot going on here. All right. And I'm sure you could cut down on some of these cuts if you would like to. I tend to just keep adding more to the file. I feel like it gives you guys more options. All right, so now we need these frame pieces inside, but I want to show you the frame. So the blue is the finished frame. That's the size that I'm going to give you. So these finished frames are 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then the inside is 2 by the 3.5. Because this goes all the way to the edge. Now, if you want to make other sizes to go on top of them, you can definitely make other sizes to go on top of them. That's what I have here, those varied layers. And, you know, you just make them smaller. So, for example, this pink one is 3.5 by 5. This one here, which is a decorative one, is also 3.5 by 5. But what it is this border that goes all the way around. You cut the 3.5 by 5, a 1/2 inch, a 1/2 inch, a 1/2 inch, a 1/2 inch. This one is a little bit bigger. This one is Let me measure it. This one's like 5/8. All right, so a little bit bigger. We're going to go ahead and stack our frames. And if you have any questions and you leave me a comment, with any question, I will make sure to get back with you. All right. I'm going to stick with some liquid glue because sometimes I find that I need to slide these around. All right. I really like to put my pieces down as I'm going because I find it less confusing when I have less pieces. I don't know if you guys experience that or if it helps you, but I would love to know if you find. I've always called it a game. I'm like, let's play decrease our pieces. And yeah, I still find that it is very helpful for me to do that. All right, we're going to match this one right up to the end, right up to the edge, and it will naturally leave that interior because they're the same size, so that interior frame will be there. I could have slid that over just a little bit, but there we go. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and do that again. It's a lot of pieces. It's pretty easy though to put together. Once you see how it goes together, and so many people grabbed one of the kits because that nativity kit, it was a special on our card buffet, so everybody got to get one of those included with their buffet if they wanted to. So a lot of people already have these pre-cut kits in their hand. I'm centering this one. And you could do it the other way if you want. Put this one on top first, kind of go with what you're comfortable with. However this turns out, though, I'm going to let it go. All right, and then this one here. This is a multi-paper, but I do want to say I already have one in the works, of course. I am obsessed with the Salt and Sea collection from Photoplay. And these dinosaurs. I already have another one in the works where the 4 in the middle do not match at all. They're all 4 different papers. And I love that. I think it's a great way to show off some papers. But yeah, I need to create. It really does. It provides me with balance. So I'm happy that this area is all set up, and we do have to dig out the entire office yet again. All right, here we go. More measurements coming your way. All right, this piece here, which I just used scraps, is 11.5. Okay, and this one is off a little bit. So this is 11.5 by 2 5/8. 11.5 by 2 5/8. If you wanted to cut that down to 11.5 by 2.5, thumbs up. All right. Okay. You're going to score it at the 1/2, the 2.5, the 5 3/4, the 9, and the 11. All right. I'll do that one more time. 1/2, 2.5, 5 3/4, 9, and 11. All right, we're going to work them both ways. Now, I used canvas paper on this. This is a thinner canvas paper that I'm trying to de-stash. This is some paper that, I won't be buying any more of. I've tried lots of papers over the last year plus to find what I think is, some of the best paper there is. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to throw it away. I'm definitely not going to throw it away. I'm going to use as much of it as I can. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of work these score lines a little. I just like to kind of fold, and you don't have to kind of like overwork it, because I did overwork my one card and it kind of falls through. So I think not overworking it is a good idea. And when you end, even though you have these, you do have to fold these 1/2 inches back, flatten them back out when they're done. So they need to kind of be folded both ways and then flatten them out. So this is how you should have one W. There's your little 1/2 inch marks, 1 W. Okay, good to go. All right, and then for these pieces inside, my honest suggestion is after you measure these, depending on what side you go with, after you have these laid out, go ahead and measure those however you would like. All right, I think that they're just going to fit on the inside, but just to kind of give you a heads up, because I have that 5/8, all my pieces are going to be 2.5, and this one is like 3 1/8. They're all really odd sizes. So, you know, if the design space file is doing it for you, then you're good to go. But if you cut that down a little bit, you won't need it. 2 of those. I used this Ho 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 paper. I thought it was really cute. I was using a little bit on the front, and I really wanted to, it's part of this collection here, but I really wanted to commit to this kind of happy Christmas with the aquas and the yellows and the oranges. If you want to do yours traditional Christmas with those adorable elves, I mean, the artwork on the back, I love that you get some artwork with all these sets. That really inspires me. But you can see they did, all the elves are traditional. Such great coloring on those too. There they are. Super cute. So you could definitely go traditional. You know, that's the beauty in getting to color your own pieces. All right, we'll put these on. And this one here is not quite one and 1 3/4. It's about, I guess, 1/8 of an inch smaller, but it looks closer to a 1/16 of an inch. So yeah, just, I would say, kind of look at them. And that's the one thing about Design Space. I do try to always share my measurements so you guys can make them manually. But Design Space, when it adjusts things, looks pretty, but you know. Okay, so I have some glimmer paper. Trying to grab, I put a bunch of stuff up on my shelf right above because I have so much. I cut some circles to make more of these cards, and I kept the bottom pieces of some white glimmer paper. And then I had some extras. This is another one that I have that I'll use, but what I'm going to do is just take my scissors and do this. This is going to be my snow. There we go. I'm going to need a couple, and I'm going to be able to get another one out of this, even though it's going to be tight. So I will keep it because I'm using it right now. If I wasn't using it right now, I would just let it go. Just kind of back and forth like you're making some snow. And then what I'll do to get a nice edge is I will cut it straight and just use the other side. So I'll just cut a straight across there, and then I have it. And I just do that again and again. So one cut, you know, gets you the 2. And I do not even need 4 because our pieces are small. Okay, these ones here, if you want the inside pieces. So this is 1 1/2. Oh, sorry, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, 2. And this one's going to be, we'll say, 2 7/8. Same thing, 2 1/4. All right, taking our fake snow now. And I'm going to do 3 of these. They don't even have to match. This is just kind of cute. This works with my elves. If it doesn't work with your design, maybe you're doing sand because you're doing dinosaurs on the beach. Oh no, I'm coming out with dinosaurs on the beach. All right. That's my reward project right now. But I have scrapbook layouts after this to share with our sketch of the month, our highlighted sketch of the month from our sketchbook. So I have to do that first. And yeah, I'm going to need to get those done because George and I are hoping, weather permitting, that we will be at the Chinese Lantern Festival this week. I'm pretty excited about that. And I already have chosen my layouts. So big shocker, right? I love pre-done layouts, and I love kind of knowing where I'm going. All right, I'm going to trim all these off. One more. Just those little snowdrifts. Now, I do want to tell you about this paper. I'm using up some old Seabrook. This is all I have left. I was cleaning out my scraps drawer, part of my redo. And while I was cleaning out my scraps drawer, I found this Seabrook, and this is really all I have. Oh, I might have wanted the darker side. Oh, I should have used the darker side, but that's okay. So this works for me to just kind of have this paper. I would use the darker side, but go to your scraps. This is a perfect time to, you know, for some of these cuts, if you're just using a red, just, you know, go get some red out of your scraps and cut all these out. I know I don't need to tell you that for many of you, but I think when we start taking on larger projects, we go for big paper, and lots of small paper equals your big paper, and, you know, help you keep those scraps under control. I've had a lot of people telling me they have a lot of scraps. There it is. I would have liked the darker side because I'm sure it probably is picking up on the camera even a little lighter. Okay, so as I mentioned, I wanted to do some things that I did not do in my first one. I'm probably shaking the camera, but I gotta wait till I hear the ball. Let's see. There it is. I got some of this going. I would have wanted to do this in the first one, so I'm going to do this a little bit. This does need a little more time to dry, but we're going to go ahead. I'm going to see if I can open it. Normally I go to George to open this. I have two of these actually. I really love the white, but I don't have good hand strength. And anytime I like put my scissors or like something like that on it, I might not be able to do it with this. Okay, let's go to something else because those are really in there. We're going to do the Delusions White Linen Shimmer Spray. All right. I'm not going to spray this. I'm just going to put a little, and what I normally like to do is this. We're just going to put a little on our acrylic block. All right, and I'm going to just grab one of my water brushes, or what I have is, wait, is this one? Yeah, this one's my empty one. I saved my empty shimmer brush. So now I can just kind of use it, like not like my water brush, and just kind of flick my stuff on there and do these kind of things. And this is going to dry a lot faster. More. And I'm okay if it goes over. I didn't want to spray it because it's just too messy, but I'm okay if it lands, you know, anywhere. I like the messy stuff. You guys know that. Oh, that is, I don't know if it's picking up, but I will make sure that I rise it up and show you guys this. This is a nice addition. And I'm not being shy with it either. Okay. And then what I can do for this, let me show you guys just in case. I've been using this one for a little while now. I just put it down and spray it just like this. I don't have time to go to my sink for every single thing, so I just do this. And this way I'm not ruining a water brush, and I've been using this for a while. I've gotten a pretty good use out of it. This right on my rag, right where I sprayed. Acrylic block, good to go. And that should work with any acrylic block you have. That's not a special to close to my heart. So if you ended up having different ones, you know, any acrylic block will probably work. Okay, and then I can also, if I want to, wipe all of this up too with the same rag. I'm going to put that aside. I'll show you guys that in a couple minutes. Okay, for the card. So our hinge is all dried. Look at it. And now we have one piece. I like to use this side. I'm going to keep this side as the back. But some people actually prefer to have this on the inside when you're covering it up with frame pieces and all. Let's see, which way did I do it on this one? I kept my hinge on the back. There it is on the back with it finished. Okay, but so I'll do this one. I can do this one with it on the inside. We'll see if there's, I don't think it's hugely noticeable, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have, oh wait, I had it right if I was doing it on the inside, because this part comes up, and now we want to go ahead and put those folds in. So let's get our base here scored. Or, I mean, sorry, burnished. Here we go. We want to do this beforehand. This side here. This side is good to go. And then the card opens. It folds like this. It's going to open like that. So we are looking at, if you fold it like this, and then that's going to come in. That's your best bet. All right. Hope that made sense. Here we go. We're going to put all of our pieces down on this as we go. All right, so for the front, I'm going to reserve that because I'm going to put my front together and then add it to this card. I saved it, you guys. It was a good save before it hit the floor. It's like worth mentioning. All right. And changing these colors up, the back matte colors too, I think would be so much fun. Like with this paper, like making one pink and blue and green. And I think that would be a lot of fun too. You know, just whatever. Or maybe you want to do red and green, you know, however you want to do it. I think that this has This project has a lot of potential. It definitely is a wows factor card. Big wow, right? Big wow. All right, for this, I'm going to go with my liquid. I think I'm going with my liquid. I have been using this glue holder. I don't remember the last time that I put my glue away. All right, I'm just going to line up that center is all I care about is the frame. So I'm just paying attention to that frame area. There we go. Go back for another. Same thing, just lining up the frame. Look at it coming together. It's so festive and happy. I love it. But then when we look at it with the nativity version, it's very elegant and over the top. And yeah, guys, this paper here that you see, that sky paper, that's the paper that I bought. 12 came in a pack, and I bought like 10 packs of it. So I had 120 sheets once upon a time, and it's now almost gone. I've used that so many times. All right, here we go. We're going to set that off to the side. I could put the back on though. We'll go ahead and we'll put the back on. Am I out? No. I'm using a little more adhesive than I normally would because the project is poofy and I tend to do that, but it does lay nice and flat, so I really don't think it's needed. Okay, so for the front, I didn't love my front. I was a little disappointed after I made it. So I'm going to make a few changes, but it doesn't mean it's not going to go look. I still think it's very cute. But I thought the Merry Christmas was a little too big. It wasn't proportioned for, you know, where I wanted it. I thought that the 3/8 of an inch would be better off. So I have 1/4 inch strips. Little changes each time. And then I went to my stamps and I tried to find something that would be a little smaller. The other thing is I wished my Merry Christmas had been on this side instead of this side because, you know, it's very dominant on this side, but I think that kind of took away. So there's one here that says happiest holidays and merriest wishes. I think I'm going to go with the merriest wishes for this one. And we're going to make that simple change and see what we think. So for the merriest wishes, just go to your stamps. This is not something where you need a specific stamp. I will probably change my sentiment repeatedly. Like I'm going to probably do this for this one, and then I will change it up and I'll do another one. And yeah, just change them up and have fun with them. Be a little freeing, right? All right, I have to set up because I'm not using the one that's on the ink block. All right, just a piece of white scrap. I'm just grabbing a piece of white scrap out of my basket. I keep white scraps, and I go through them quite a bit. If the basket gets too big, I just do die cuts with them. Okay, merriest wishes. I don't like the way it's inked. A little bit more. I'm not going to like this one. Let's do one over here. Sometimes your stamp, if it's not seasoned well, a little bit of ink stamping off one time can work wonders. All right, merriest wishes. I used Memento on that. That's probably why I noticed a difference because the VersaFine is much blacker. All right, but it's a good stamp. We're going to keep it. Merriest wishes. I'm going to just put that off to the side too. And then the other thing that I did, let me grab my case. So if you're ever planning on working with a set, you know, where you're going to be making a few things, I find that prep work and like grouping things really helps me. So I have these cases, like you guys see me bring them out all the time. I have one for the dinosaurs that I'm working on. I have one that says everyday for everyday junk because I'm not done that collection yet. And then I had the travel junk that I'm working with and Lucky Cat. And it just makes me pull it down every time so I can use things that I've already set aside, and it kind of makes it so I don't have to go back to square one whenever I'm crafting. All right, I liked this Ho 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 paper, so I cut circles out of that. I have This is the circles I mentioned earlier. And then you can see I already have some changes. So I did, the presents are a different color. This little elf is in aqua, which if I could go back, this little, I would probably maybe do this one in aqua, right? But the little yellow one, all the colors, orange, all these colors are from the paper. Pink, and then the little North Pole sign. They're so cute. You guys know you didn't want me. You guys are like right now going, whew, thank gosh she pre-colored because she'd be here forever. All right, I haven't added any details to my little elves on this one. I'm going to make the change. I'm going to add some on this one. All right, now I'm wishing I hadn't put my paper down because I find it so much easier to just snip those little ones across, but they're 3.5. So let's go ahead and grab our cutters and do some 3.5 inch cuts on these 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to line these up really quickly and just see if I need to phase one out. I need at least one to be 3/8. It needs to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to do 2/4 inches and then 1 3/8 just to make this just a little bit bigger. Okay, 3.5 is where we're going to go right now. And I had originally designed the front of the card, and then after I looked at it, I found it lacking. And so I just said a couple of strips would, really probably help out to kind of anchor the sentiment, but also just give some balance to the card. So that's how I ended up just doing a few little strips. It's a big go-to of mine just to do the little strips. Okay, I also felt like it was going to lay this out a lot better. Regular adhesive. I'm going to do this up high so that way I will see more of it. And I'm using a multi paper, but just check your orientation. Okay. And now I want this one. I want to be able to see the ho-ho-hos. So I'm going to bring that one down a little bit. I think it's kind of cute that the little ho-ho-ho is there, but I might cover up a little bit more of the bottom one. And I'm okay with that. There we go. All right, so now I have my 3 strips. I'm going to start with where I want my top one. I'm going to use liquid glue so I can slide it just in case. This liquid glue dries clear and permanent, so it's not tacky when it dries. Let's say right about there. That's the 1/4, and this is 3/8. I think it's so funny that I'm still doing Christmas, but I'm going to be doing Christmas off and on all year. That I had gotten into that, but then in the last year, I got a little bit lost with everything going on and a little backed up. So sure enough, one of the things that went was me doing a Christmas project every month, which is something I like to do personally, even if I'm not, doing it for the share. And so yeah, I'm real happy to have that time back. All right, so there we go. Just a few little, and now I want to do this Merriest Wishes. I'm going to get my straight cutter. I really got to dig out my little baby photo trimmer guillotine cutter. I'm worried that this is a little bigger than I would like it. I'm going to go tight and hope that it's not too big. But if it is too big, I don't know that I'm going to put it on at this point. I may go for a different one, but we're going to see. I think I would like one to be a little bit smaller because it goes past my strips, so I have white on white. I mean, I could make the strips bigger, but probably not something I want to do. So I already prepared just in case, and I have this Merry Christmas on this really old stamp, and it doesn't look like it's been used a lot, but I'm just going to snip it. And when you cut a stamp, to cut or not is a personal choice. The trick to cutting a stamp is basically anything of any part of the stamp that needs to touch your paper to get the shape or the sentiment or anything, you don't cut that. The only part that you cut is the back part of the photopolymer that is holding it together. So I hope that made sense. And I like to stretch mine just a tiny bit to get in there. There we go. I think this one's going to be a much better choice. I'm just going to kind of shape them to where, like, line them up here on my board. I think that'll look good. Let's go ahead and see if we can. I'm going to use that Memento because it dries quickly, and I do like Versamark to sit for a few. Okay, we'll see how straight this is. I'm going to do one stamp off. You can already see that it is definitely smaller. I have a feeling that bottom portion is not as straight as I would like it, but guess what? It's good enough. Give yourself some grace in your crafting. I'm going to lay that aside. All right, for the little guys, I have just really started working a lot with adding details with the white pen, and I'm not good at it. Not good at it. But the only way I'm going to get good at it is if I do it. So I'm going to just add a few little dashes here and there because, like I said, I'm just not good at it yet. I'm not sure where to put them, but I'm watching a couple of people who are hopefully going to help me out with that. All right, so I'm just going to put a few. I'm going to leave this snowman alone except for his little nose. I think I could have went across, but I went down on it. Oh, I forgot to color his hair. His hair wants to be this color. There we go. He's getting no shading on this hair. If I forgot it on one, then I forgot it on the other. This person's getting an elf with white hair because I'm not going to try to do that. Right? Grace, just give yourself some grace and let it go and just do differently on the next one. All right. Why I'm accenting it with the white line, the little bum, I don't know. But I'm just going to put a little bit in here. I do hope to really do some follow-up on the white gel pen with the accents. And it's something that I'm looking forward to getting a little better at. So we'll see how it goes, right? That's all we can do, is to keep trying new things. Okay. There we go. She's kind of cute. This one's kind of cute. I might have to raise her up so you can see her. She's kind of cute. Look at her. Isn't she cute? She's so cute. she's in pink. I have no doubt that there are some people out there who do a wonderful job with the white gel pen. And the one thing that is pretty high on my list for the crafting community is how much we share with each other. I'm never amazed, like more amazed when I go on and I see how many people just share and share and share. It's beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a cut. And we will put this one down. Now I'm going to put 2 Design Space file links down in the description. I'll also try to put some basic measurements as well as we're finishing this project up. But the 2 Design Space files are, I'm going to do a basic one, and then I'm also going to share this one here. I really want to be part of that sharing Cricut community, so I will be sharing this project. So if you guys want to make lots of these, there you go. All right. Now, I need only foam tape for the front. I really want to stress that when you're doing these cards, I love foam tape. But the thing is it's not your friend when you have 4 folds going on. So as much as when you lay it out, you have to realize what's going to give it the dimension is the fold. So you'll still have dimension. But for those of us who are addicted to foam tape, sometimes not having it, things don't look the same, right? We notice those. We have a few of us in our group that are just addicted to foam tape. All right, put some of these on here and we'll be good to go. All right. As I talk about being addicted to foam tape, I then make sure that I cover all of that, right? Okay. Let's peel that foam tape off of there. This one is so cute. Let me show you this one. Really adorable. So in the aqua, which I love. And I just used my Spectrum Noir markers, and I had so many markers out. Like they were like from here to here while I was working on them. And I used so many colors, but they were fun because I got to do these happy colors. But if you want to do, all the lovely red and green elves, go for it. But I have a feeling after doing this, I'm going to do these guys colorful on this card and maybe one more. Okay, so for the Merry Christmas, I am right. That is a much better fit. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my bordering markers here. These are markers that I only use to do this with. That's it. These are not markers that I color with. I've never bought them meaning to color. I don't want to ruin markers that I color with. I let that sit for a little bit so it ran a little bit. I didn't go super fast with it. All right, this is super cute. But I like to do that in all different colors. I did black because my stamped image is black. We're going to the left because I thought, oh yeah, I really like the balance better now. Look at the difference. Let me know what you think. I think the difference is, yeah, spot on. All right, but we all like different things. Okay, I'm trying to dig for a little heart. At some point, I have been throwing these to the bling that I do for card buffets. I am going to downsize my heart. Still want to put a heart on there, but I just downsized it to the small instead of the medium. It's so cute. And then I have some of our clear bling. I'm just carrying it in this little Ziploc bag. But this is our clear sparkles. You can pick those up too if you like. You get so many sparkles for $1. I can't even say $2 on this. Our favorite thing is to always say everything's $2 in the group. We joke about it, but I can't even say that. All right, so I'm using the mediums here. All right. I did merge my 2 packs of these. I think I'm going to go right about there. There we go. I did like the sparkle placement on this. Here we go. Isn't that cute? That's going to be cute. Okay, let's bring this in. I want you guys to see. There's now my snow. I did not have that. I do wish I had done the darker side of the Seabrook, so if you end up pulling some of that out of your stash. But I'm hoping the light is picking up all the little snow we have there. See, just little changes each time until you get it exactly the way you want it. All right, I'm going to bring this in now. And this. Okay, let's make sure I get this the way it's supposed to be. I couldn't believe. I'm going to open this up. Here's where we are. So North Pole with the arrow is supposed to be on the left. Okay, here we go. The little North Pole that just says, hey, and it's nice and small. All right, it was like quicksand though. Like once one went, that was it, right? Okay. And he's carrying one over. She's going right here where it says, have your elf a merry little Christmas. I kind of wanted that one right here to be the sentiment on the end. Notice I'm laying my pieces out now, so I try not to mess them up. Craft faux pas, right? We all have them. But someone's getting this. I might try to color the hair, or that elf just has white hair. Look how cute this is. Oh, yes. All the things. I might add some stickles though. All the things. And then what I did is I did a light ombre on this, and then I stamped it. There are different messages in the set. So I did, because they're elves, why wouldn't I? I could just see, I do a lot of prep, as you saw my little case, so I like to have them all ready, and then you can go watch some TV or put a movie on, in color. Maybe you just enjoy the peace and quiet, or an audiobook. I'm going to use the top here. I'm okay if it goes over. There we go. I'm going to shave a little bit off of the bottom of this foot. There we go. Okay, and then this one here. And what I could have done was done this one a little more to the right, and then this one a little more to the left because of the brace in the middle. If you put them a little over just a little bit more, sometimes I think you can see them a little bit better. But look at that scene. Isn't that cute? Little additions, right? Little additions. Okay, so now you have this all done, and I think this is the part that kind of intimidates people on, hey, how do I put this together? Okay, so what I'm going to do is just bring this in, and we're going to fold. So we're going to fold in half, and then fold this side back and this side back. It is important that you have worked your those 1/2 inch ones, but you want them flat to the back. Say it's just flat right here, and we're going to put glue on this. And you may want to, I've done these a few times, so you may want to line it up. When I say line it up, like after I put the glue on, you may want to do that before. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to, you can flip around and come up from the back if you like. You know, you can do whatever way, but the important thing is that you get in between the two. All right, and now what we're going to do is we want to kind of move this up and down. This is why I only put glue on one side. I find this is the easiest. We want about an equal gap between here and here. And I like to line mine up with this frame that's right here. I find that it makes sure it doesn't stick out the back there. So I have it just lined up with that outside frame. And now we're going to close it and give it a little rub. And then we're just going to grab a weight. I have 2. Give it a little push. Let it hang out. While that's hanging out, this is a wonderful time that you can, you know, add some stickles to all your Christmas balls. Something else I didn't do. Now, I still have to put liquid on this, so this is brave of me because I'm going to have to turn this over and hopefully not touch it. But we'll get these on there. You could just put sparkles on all of them, but I don't know. I feel like the stickles is enough. Here we go. A little bit of stickles on the Christmas balls. This is hanging out. You could give it a couple more minutes when you're making them. If you're doing multiple, just do the next one, the next one, the next one. We're going to open it up. Glue only on the 1/2 inch. If you get it over that 1/2 inch, take it off. Only on the 1/2 inch. I'm a little bit crooked, but it'll still work. I can see that I'm just a little bit off, but not much. Okay, rub, rub, rub. Oh my goodness, I hope I put that in right. Hold on. Whew, okay. Double check and make sure that you're not putting it in upside down, because when you put them in upside down, bad things happen. You have to take them out. I did it already. It's true. Okay, here we go. I'll just probably drop that sentiment since I'm doing some Christmas cards and have it for later. All right, I'm hoping that's going to be good enough. I'll slide this off. Normally, I would wait till I'm all done, but, you know, video time, and this is a long video, you know, for a card. My last 2 cards have been really over-the-top cards. So I got to get some easy breezy ones in here. A couple of scrap ones. I've had a request, what do I do with my scraps? I need some sketches, so I'll make sure I get that in the works. All right, so now just center it. Okay. I'm just going to kind of squeeze it on there because I did my card first, my card front, so that I could just pop it on there. I just realized that my little guy's belt buckle is not colored. We'll dot that with some of this gold. There we go. Oh, this is so cute. Okay. It's always nice when something turns out, right? Okay, so here it is. And then you open it up and there's that scene. Super cute. I really think that it's going to be hard to beat this project with these elves. I do have a couple more projects planned. I'm really loving them. The information will be down in the description, but I feel like this card here in particular with the Santa's Helpers, I think this card really highlights the entire collection. I used every single one of those. I used every single one. I love it. All right, so one more time. Here's our front. Really cute. they're elves. They're childlike, right? They're super cute. Okay, and then you open it up. There's your North Pole scene. All the things. I am really enjoying the elves kind of being in this little rainbow of outfits with that rainbow presence. I'm enjoying that, but you know what? I bet seeing them all red and green with some red and green papers are going to be really gorgeous too. And then it just hangs out and closes. Sentiment on the back, additional sentiment if you want, Christmas wishes or whatever, and then you sign it there on the back. Okay, guys, thanks for hanging me out. I know this was a long one. I appreciate you hanging. I did, in the Creative Art Challenge, I noted that this one here was our design space file for the month, along with the scrapbook one that we have coming up that I'll be teaching a lesson on that. But it's not. I'm going to keep this and let this one count for extra points this month as well. It's actually this one. So I'll make sure both files are posted as well. Really love how this turned out. I'm very happy with it. And I like my second one better than my first one. And that always makes me very happy because I know I'm making those little adjustments. If you found this video useful, if you like the ideas, or maybe you're just feeling generous, who knows, we never know what's going to happen in a day, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. It really does help me out here in the YouTube community. Leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. I'll make sure to get back with you. And if you have ideas or other special kinds of cards that you'd like me to work with, or that you're interested in sending my way, let me know. I always love to have suggestions and ideas. Thank you guys so much. As always, I wish you lots of crafty goodness, and I'll see you back real soon. Bye-bye.